You may be thinking to yourself, anime and football don't go together. But au contraire, my friend, I'm here to tell you that they do. Alright, so we're starting off with the Raiders' first game against the New England Patriots. Now, this may feel like low-hanging fruit, but let me cook, alright? This game felt like the Zabuza Haku vs Team 7 fight. During the Land of Waves arc, we saw our new squad coming together for the first time and having to work together to get off that bridge alive. This game was a perfect game to see our new Raiders team come out and showcase the growth and changes they experienced in the offseason. The team was coming together after hiring new coaches, new players, and it was just exciting to see how they would put it all together. But they were in the Patriots' home turf in Foxborough, surrounded by Patriots fans, almost as if they were engulfed by Zabuza's hidden mist jutsu. It was a very close game, just like the Zabuza fight. I remember watching those episodes as a kid like, golly, how the hell are they gonna beat this guy? Cause ain't no way. But when Naruto and Sasuke did that hit demon shuriken fucking fake out thing, I knew that show was gonna be fucking peak. Overall, the Raiders looked pretty good in this game. Gino threw an interception, which low-key wasn't his fault, and it low-key almost cost us the game, but the team pulled through, like Naruto and Sasuke, to secure the win. In week 2, the Raiders were back home in Las Vegas, going up against the Chargers. Now, every Chargers game, whether it's in LA or Vegas, feels like a home game, and this game was no different. I would compare this game to the Goku and Beerus fight from Battle of the Gods. Here, we see Beerus finding Goku on King Kai's planet, a place where Goku is very much at home and comfortable, and Goku being Goku wants to see how strong his opponent is. At the start of the fight, Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, and as a viewer, you're like, oh yeah, Goku gonna wipe the floor with this guy. But Goku couldn't even land any meaningful blows, like the Raiders in this game. The team scored just 3 field goals for 9 points, while the Chargers scored 20 with a mix of touchdowns and field goals. Sadly, the game and that fight were decided before they even started. It was a crushing loss at home and a start to a very slippery slope. Moving on to the next week, the Raiders did not fare any better. This was supposed to be a get-right game, and dare I say, an easy game. The Washington Commanders were playing at home without their star quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who was out with an injury. Not only does this game match with this next fight aesthetically with its red and yellow colors, but it matches in the pain that it caused me and many fans. I would like to compare this game to the Rengoku and Akaza fight. When I tell you this fight ripped my heart out of my fucking chest, bro, I cannot believe what I was seeing, bro. I cannot believe it. The Mugen Train arc really made you come to love Rengoku as a character in such a short amount of time and built him up only for his story to end like that? Nah, bro. Wait. The Commanders absolutely embarrassed the Raiders, winning 41-24 with a backup quarterback. And who was that quarterback? Marcus Mariota, no less, who was on the Raiders a couple years ago. It was after this game that all the hope that I had going into this season started to dwindle, and everything that was wrong with this team had not changed. And you want to talk about solely dwindling hope? Let's talk about it completely becoming non-existent. Which brings us to a very disappointing loss to the Chicago Bears. The Bears walked away with a 25-24 win after blocking Daniel Carlson's game-winning kick in the final moments of the game. Now, I didn't want to use Naruto again, but god damn it, this game felt like the fight between Rock Lee and Gaara. Lee was struggling pretty much that whole fight, but as soon as he took those weights off, golly, that motherfucker was going crazy. When he hit Gaara with that primary lotus, we thought it was over. But no, it was not enough. Gaara's defenses were just too strong, which forced Lee to break out his forbidden technique, the hidden lotus. Raiders were up 21-16 in this game, and the Bears kept clawing their way back. Like, fuck bro, just give up. And when Lee started opening up all those gates, surely Gaara was done for. But nope, he just came back even harder. Damn, they're killing Lee, dude. And honestly, the Raiders season died after this game. This is a bit of a deep cut, and you really gotta know ball to know this one. The following week's game against the Colts was another game that was over before it started. Just like the Tiki Mick and Alan Walker fight from D. Grayman. The Colts were just straight up overfarming in this game. They won 40-6. Raiders stood no chance. Jonathan Taylor ran for 3 touchdowns and Daniel Jones threw for 2 more, completely obliterating this Raiders team, dude. Tiki Mick was a character who was overfarming from the moment he was introduced. And up until his first encounter with Alan Walker, we did not know the extent of his power. Like the Raiders, Alan wasn't able to do a fucking thing. He got his shit blown smooth off. Literally. At this point, the Raiders had dug themselves a pretty deep hole. sitting at 1-4, and they were going to need a miracle to turn this season around. Next, we finally got a dub. Finally! Now, it was against the Titans, which doesn't say much, but a dub is a dub. This game was definitely a game of all time, and one of those games that left you saying, well, one of these teams has to win today. The fight I chose for this one was a very obscure one from Dragon Ball Z. It was during the Android saga where the Z fighters were preparing for the androids to show up. Now, this fight shows two of the most memed on characters going up against each other for practice. This fight was not serious, and it was more comedic than anything, just like the Raiders Titans game. The Raiders won 20-10 against an equally bad Titans team. I didn't want to use Dragon Ball Z again, but I felt like this fight was too perfect and described this game too perfectly to let it go.
Oh boy, look at those two. They have no idea what they're doing.
Before getting to the bye week, we had another embarrassing showing in Kansas City. Now, us Raider fans know that winning in Kansas City is no easy feat, but golly was this one bad. The Raiders did not stand a chance in this game, losing 31-0. And what's even crazier is that then coach Pete Carroll, who got fired after this season, stated after the game that they prepared well in practice all week and that he did not see that coming. Like, bro, how did you not see that coming? Are you serious? This game felt like the entrance of Madara Uchiha in Naruto Shippuden. Bro took on the Shinobi Alliance all by himself in the 4th Great Ninja War. This fight is so iconic because it shows the complete and utter gap in power between Madara and everyone else. Those motherfuckers stood no chance. He was straight up giving them the fucking business with straight hands and started using Jutsu just to fuck with them. And don't even get me started on the asteroids. The asteroid coming down was just a cherry on top. And honestly, the second one was just insult to injury. Just like the Chiefs' last couple touchdowns. They didn't need to happen, but they did it anyway. And to make matters worse, the Chiefs sent out Gardner Minshew of all people to finish out the game because they were beating us so bad. And, need I remind you, Gardner Minshew was our quarterback literally last season. After the bye week, the Raiders found themselves in Jacksonville, going up against a very decent Jaguars team. This game was a shootout with both teams taking the lead multiple times. The only reason the Raiders were in this game was because of mistakes made by Trevor Lawrence, but he overcame those mistakes and led his team to a 30-29 overtime win. The Raiders had a chance to take the win, but their 2-point conversion at the end of the game was stopped. And this game felt like the Witch Queen's betrayal in Black Clover. After Austin went full on demon mode and kicked the shit out of the motherfuckers from Diamond Kingdom, we thought it was raps. But no, the Queen came down, betrayed everyone, and tried to use Asta and exploit him for her own personal gain. And on top of all that, she tried to kill the rest of the Black Bulls that were there. When I tell you, I was fucking shook watching this for the first time. I thought they were done for. There was no way they were getting out of that shit, dude. Blood magic, blood bending, blood powers are just so overpowered in whatever show it's in. Now, Asta and the team did end up winning this fight eventually, but the emotional roller coaster that this whole arc and battle puts you through is the reason why I chose it for this game, because this game was an emotional roller coaster. The Raiders went on to lose their next 8 games, and what better way to sum it up than with Luffy losing all 8 members of his crew after losing Takuma and Admiral Kizaru. Every loss was worse than the last one, and I'm sure that's how Luffy felt seeing his team being picked off one by one. The Raiders lost to the Broncos, Cowboys, Browns, Chargers again, Broncos again, the Eagles, Texans, and the Giants. At this point in the season, I mentally checked out, like many other fans. Football just wasn't fun anymore. Why would I watch my team lose week in and week out and waste my Sunday every single week? But not all hope was lost, because like Luffy, the Raiders are set to bounce back stronger than ever. Following this embarrassing stretch of losses, the season came to its final week. The Raiders played their final game at home against a broken Chiefs team. They were without their star quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and at this point the team had nothing to lose. Before kickoff though, the Raiders secured the number 1 pick in the draft this year after the Giants very stupidly beat the Cowboys 34-17. So not only did the Raiders end the season with a home win against the Chiefs, but they ended the season with the top pick in the NFL draft. That's a fucking win-win to me. I couldn't think of a better way to end the season, and the fight I chose for this game was a fight in Dan between Okaroon and Momo versus the acrobatic Silky. Like the game, this fight was a slow burn, but for good reason. Throughout the fight, we see a very one-sided emotional reunion between a deceased mother and a girl who she decides to call her daughter. And the mother wants nothing more than to be with her daughter. This fight was so good, so tragic, so satisfying. But you can't help but feel bad knowing that it's over, and knowing the story of the mother, and knowing why her soul was not at rest in the first place. Momo and Okaroon managed to quell the restless spirit and save their friend, so it was a win-win. And with this game came the end of the season, which meant another long and grueling 8 to 9 month wait for more football. Since the end of the season though, the Raiders have made a lot of good moves to push this team in the right direction. We'll see if newly hired Super Bowl champion coach Klint Kubiak can turn this thing around, and we'll see if the Raiders make the right move and draft college football champion and Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza in April. The 2025 season was a tumultuous one for the Las Vegas Raiders, with its triumphs and heartbreaks. Okay, mostly heartbreaks. And I thought, what better way to recap the season than comparing the games to some of my favorite anime fights or moments. Anime is loved for its impossible characters overcoming seemingly impossible challenges. You grow with your favorite characters. Their challenges and successes almost feel like your own. And the same goes for football. When we casually talk ball with other fans, most of the time people say we, saying things like, "We did terrible yesterday. We need a new quarterback. We need a new coach. I can't believe we won yesterday." Things like that. Anime and football mean a lot to a lot of people. And even though we're not on the field making millions of dollars, us fans pour our hearts and souls into the team that we love, which is why anime and football go hand in hand so well. Sashiburi dara, Mugiwara.